On a personal level, it's a very good question. I thank you for asking the question. On a personal level, all of us who go to school to train, whether we're training as historians or we're training as any other fields, whatever it might be, whether it's in academia or outside of it. But generally you go, particularly if you're in academics, if you're in teaching, you do your research hoping to uncover new truths, to uncover information that isn't known, to expand our body of understanding. And here, I was spending time looking at a phenomenon which was, flat Earth theorists. The spacemen have landed, not to be sexist, the space women have also landed with them. Although there wouldn't be spacemen if there hadn't been space women, right? Here I was studying something that really had the intellectual credibility of Earth is flat, there was no slavery, it's good to abuse children, etc. And that was disturbing to me because it felt to me like I was defending something that didn't need defend, or I was sometimes put in the position of defending something that doesn't need defending. I mean, the documentation is so extreme, the testimony is so extreme, the knowledge is so extreme. But then every once in a while I would read, or today I had the dubious pleasure of hearing the antics that these people engage in, and I would say to myself, well, I'll do this, but it wasn't a pleasant task in that sense. Right.
You can mention in your book where they offered $10,000 for this proof, and then you can't have any more living proof than here's $1,000 for you to show me a gas tank.
Well, it's just Okay. Yes.
I'm a historian, a teacher, have a PhD from the institution you teach at, and like you, I'm concerned about people who rewrite history. We've seen other examples.
Your name is, please?
Dr. D, History Department. The story is that I feel like we've rewritten recently other things like Columbus was not honored in the 500th anniversary because of the fact that there were people who said, well, he brought evil to the New World, as if we didn't have it on our own. Can you think of any examples where people have rewritten history in the past for their own evil purposes that they were then able to carry out? Like did Hitler retell the story of the past to justify some of his practices?
Well, I think much of the anti-Semitic writings in the world, the racist writings in the world, are rewritings of history. But in terms of a specific event, I think the thing that is most clear, and it's still, an issue today, is the Armenian genocide, the Turkish attempt to destroy much of the Armenian community in sections of Turkey around the time of World War I. And the Turks' continuous defense to this day, to this moment, that wasn't a genocidal event, that there weren't many wiped out, that it really was a civil war, when so much of the documentation proves exactly the opposite. And I think if I were a member of the Armenian community, I would be terribly frustrated by that. And I think the Armenian is the main thing that I would point out in terms of event-related things. There are other trends, and I think the Columbus trend also. One can be very critical, which is what has come about. One maybe should not talk about Columbus as a discoverer of America. There were people here before, etc. But at the same time, one doesn't have to totally throw out his accomplishments or how that is a turning point in history. Sometimes we need to put things more in focus, but that doesn't mean we're throwing out the baby with the bath. Let me take one more, and then.
I guess it's more of a comment than anything, but I think a parallel made between the overt, actually the covert, like more or less clandestine measures, such as the book Bell Curve. Rational, somewhat rational people and objective people are going out, and the book's selling, pretty hot.
Sounds very well.
I'm agreeing with you. I think that had he gone out and been so blatant about it, maybe wouldn't have sold many books, but because he's a well-educated man, a family man, or what have you, it's, I don't know, I guess people seem to think it's pretty applicable, but I guess I disagree with that.
Right, I agree with you, and what's more frightening to me than even the Bell Curve is, because I, as so many others, have not read it. I think three-quarters of the people who talk about it haven't read it. When Salman Rushdie's book came out, I think it was the New Republic, went around Washington in a number of bookstores, put a note in page 800. The book was 900 pages or something. Three-quarters of the way through the book, put a note in, if you get this far, it's not in the books, you really have to be reading the book to get to it, call the New Republic at this and this number, and we'll give you $20 or $30 in cash. They put about 200 of those notes in bookstores in Washington, and they never got one call, you know. Most people talk about the book without reading it, and I think the same thing is happening with the bell curve. What frightens me more about the bell curve is how his dubious conclusions, because there seems to be a lot of evidence to question what he has to say, will be used, and the agendas to which it will be put. And I think that's part of the problem. It's how people use information, the agendas to which they use it, their true objectives, their subterranean motives that are what's important. Let me end by thanking you all, thanking you for this invitation. I hope the disturbance didn't disrupt you. It certainly didn't disrupt me. And I guess, as I say, central casting sends these people along to show their tenacity. Thank you very much.
About sex abusers and child molesters and friends and things like that. Yeah, I don't think anyone. I think there's more hatred in your face than there is in mine. You're probably right. Yeah. So which of us is the hater?
Hatred breeds it.
So which of us is the hater? We have, thank goodness, the First Amendment of this country, which I interpret differently from the way she interprets it. I interpret freedom of speech in this country to mean that everyone has the freedom of speech to do things. Freedom of speech is the freedom of speech to be wrong.
You are wrong.
Yes, I may be wrong. I may be wrong, but freedom of speech means that I've got the right to express an opinion, and you have the right to say, I think you're wrong.
You're doing it right now.
Yes.
Thank God you are, because other people can see what a fool you make of this.
Yes. So where do you think I'm wrong?
You are.
Where do you think I'm wrong?
You're wrong. I mean,
On what? On what?
did you crawl out from a rock this morning?
Okay.
What rock
Well,
did
I
you crawl
thought we
out
were going to
from?
have some intellectual debate. And you saw me offer her
Are you telling me
$1,000.
that Hitler did not kill 6 million people? That Stalin did not kill 15 million Russians?
You saw me offer her $1,000 for the document that she told you students
Why would
existed.
she have that document for you?
Good. If she says it exists, she should know where it is. $1,000 for that blueprint of gas chambers that she says exists. But she knows it doesn't exist. Otherwise, she would have said straight away, yes, it's in the Latvian archives, whatever. The secret, the trophy archives in Dvorskaya Ulica in Russia, whatever. But she can't say that.
All of these graves that they've dug up in Russia and all throughout Europe, those people in those graves were just mannequins, weren't they? Those are
I'll tell you
people
what I
that they
think
just
happened.
made up.
I'll tell you what I think happened. There's no doubt at all that Nazis liquidated tens or hundreds, many hundreds of thousands of Jews by machine gunning them to pits in Russia. Not only the Germans, the Estonians, the Lithuanians, the Latvians did that. What didn't happen is gas chambers and factories of death, believe me. Here's the fact.
It doesn't matter how they died. They
Here's a
died,
photograph of
period.
Auschwitz, right? Here's a
Hitler
photograph of
killed.
Auschwitz. You can see here people walking around in the streets.
Okay.
You can't see any sign of smoke pouring from the crematoria.
So
You
what?
can't see any signs of lines of. But this is what the eyewitnesses tell us about the smoke.
This
the
was
lines.
taken on one day.
No.
Show me 365 days,
We've got
24 hours a day, 24 hours a day.
We have 48 of these photographs.
Well, you have
right?
48. There was a hell of a lot more days than that.
We know what happened on this day.
Yeah.
According to the eyewitnesses, this is one of the main extermination days. Yeah, I see. These are from the National Archives.
Okay.
Are you saying they've got the pictures?
What makes you think
No, I'm
that
saying you
one
stopped
picture?
Anyone can log the things, but they
Draw
get
little dots on there and take that picture.
CIA did
I'm
that.
a photographer.
1974. I can't even say that. But and now that's precisely what they do.
What is your purpose in life with it?
I came here today to defend my name, but I knew she was going to smear me the same as she smeared me all the way around the world. Okay? That's why I gave these books out at my expense, $800 books, so you the students can just take a look at the book, take a look at the back of the book and say, hey, this is the David Irving you David Lipstadt we're telling us about.
Why would she single you out as a smear?
She didn't just single me out. She mentioned several names, but I'm interested in defending my name.
But why would she do that? Why would she smear you?
She makes a good speech. She delivers a funny speech about Anne Frank and Calvin.
But you're not telling me why she would want to smear you.
She's been invited along to the lecture this morning. She gets her fee for it.
She gets her fee for talking about the book that she wrote. Then smear you.
Yeah.
Why would she want to smear you?
I don't know. Read the book. See what she says.
I didn't.
And I've come along to defend myself against these smears.
Okay, so what do you think makes her want to smear you personally?
If there is some country to country. In Australia, she was hired by the Australia-Israel Institute.
So just money. You just think she's just getting paid to smear you?
I'm sure she's got a sense of mission too.
What is that sense of mission?